Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Peaceful Oracle. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your weekly reading for the week of September 13th to September 19th, 2021. I will also be pulling a oracle card for each sign as well, so tune in for that. I have the timestamps below in the description, so you can just fast forward to your sign when we get to that point. So I want to get into some of the really interesting messages that I was picking up on for this week. It's a highly spiritual week, and there's something so peaceful and profound about it. And they're also telling me that this may not resonate with every single one of you because it feels very specific, but it feels like it's worth sharing nonetheless. And what I'm sensing is this need to simplify your life this week. There's this feeling of there may be, even if there's a lot going on around you, even if there might be a lot of things that you need to accomplish, things that you need to do, things you need to take care of. Inside, underneath the surface, it feels as though that there's this calling for sitting still and being in like a meditative state. Not necessarily sitting in meditation. I mean, some of you may choose to do that, which is wonderful. But there's also like this inner urgence or this this urge to just not really engage with too much of stuff around you. Like I'm kind of seeing almost like this monastic way of life this week, kind of like putting on some white robes and just, taking off all your jewelry and taking off the makeup and like just kind of simplifying and chiseling down to the bare bones of wanting to feel like this rawness within you, because there is this urge or want or need for the soul to connect just with God and just with your spiritual self and not needing all the bells and whistles to kind of help us to feel a certain way or to help us identify too much. So this is really interesting. This is so significant because it's wanting to get to the truth, it's wanting to get to the truth of who you really are. And not even trying to find a definition, like not trying to call yourself something. It's just looking within and discovering is what it feels like. And even though we're kind of going through our day-to-day life and we're watching things happen and we're watching things unfold, there is something else different that's going on within us. For those of you who have been growing spiritually, for those of you who have been expanding, even through all of the difficult things, you're getting to a place where it's becoming more clear. Maybe not easier necessarily, but more clear of what you need to do. Maybe there are some individuals that you need to say goodbye to, or maybe there's some places that you need to say goodbye to, or habits, or ways of life, or relationships, or anything really. Anything that may feel like it might hinder that connection, a deepening of the connection. Because there's so much changing, there's so much transitioning in our world, and at the same time, so much changing in everybody's individual lives. There's so much happening right now. It's hard to pinpoint one, just to kind of focus in on one thing. And so I feel like there might be many of us who are feeling this, I'm hearing the words, a call to go home. It's time to go home. And you want to come home to yourself. You want to come to a place where you can rest in a state of constant stability within yourself, some kind of foundation, some kind of grounding. So you can navigate, the shifts and the changes and the turbulence even. So it's going to be a week where you find yourself perhaps that even if there are things coming up, that you're going to, underneath the surface, that there's this opening of the heart, and there is a need to go home to yourself and to shed all the external crutches or the things that we think we need in order to find our way back there. Like I think that in spirituality, or even in certain religions, like there's a place for some of the different modalities, some of the techniques, some of the things that everyone uses to help them connect. And that's wonderful and beautiful. And it's like an ebb and flow. We kind of go into one and go into another thing. And that's how we kind of find our way to ourselves, or find our way to explore ourselves more. But this kind of feels like not wanting to engage in really anything and just kind of sitting in silence, or just simplifying it to one thing, and connecting to the truth of what it is, of what you are. So that is the energy that I was picking up on for this week. And now let me get into, and I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Let me get into the cards for this week as well. I know that was a pretty significant, profound, really deep spiritual message, but I hope that resonated with some of you, because it was just what was coming up for me so strongly. I wasn't seeing too much of the day-to-day type of things. I'm sure all of that is still playing out. All of that is still going to be there, but this was the message that was coming through for me. So, okay. So what do we have coming up for the first week, for the beginning? Oh, wow. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. What did I say? This is so beautiful. Okay. This is the beginning of your week. Be true to your heart and renewal of peace. Wow. Yeah, and as I'm watching kind of like this, I don't know what it is, a fairy, a cherub, a baby, just sleeping. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm seeing, as you're kind of, so this sleep that this baby or cherub is in this state. So this is also metaphorical, is what I'm hearing. So this is also, not necessarily that you might be sleeping a lot, or you may find that you find yourself, wanting to sleep more, but it's like you're in this meditative state. You're very present in something that's like transforming within you. And the animals around it, like the squirrel and the toad and the mouse and the hedgehog, it looks like, there are these beautiful creatures. And what I heard from Spirit were that these were actually spirit guides. So these are the beings that watch over this transition, that you are protected, that you are being watched over as you go through this transition, because it is your destiny to go through it. It is when I believe, and I think that this is the message that I'm hearing, is that when individuals or even a collective make a choice to go through that journey of, for lack of better wording, maybe a realization of the self, we are always watched over, that the universe conspires in our favor to help with that journey because it benefits the whole. When we awaken, we help others awaken through shining our light. And that is kind of this process that a lot of us are going through, is awakening to our light, awakening to our inner wisdom. You may find that you are more tired than usual, because you're actually there's a lot shifting within you. There's a lot of energy that is pouring in, and there's also a lot of old energies that are pouring out. And this may be also happening on a subconscious level. So you may not always be aware of it, but there is something happening behind the scenes. There's something happening behind the curtain, is what I'm hearing. And the be true to your heart was the energy that I was feeling in my heart space, that there's more focus on the heart space opening and the mind kind of quieting. And I'm hearing that for some of you, in the beginning, it's going to feel like the mind is actually getting louder first, because there's this battle. There's this battle, there's resistance to the ego not wanting us to wake up, the ego not wanting us to step into the light, the fight for control, the fight for feeling like it's losing its grip on us as we expand, as we grow. So in a more simplified way, it feels like there's a lot of you that are stepping into your light. And right now it feels like a lot of it's happening beneath the surface. So if you find that you are feeling different, that you're feeling strange, you're feeling weird, you're feeling more tired, be gentle with yourself. You're going through a process. You're going through an awakening. You're going through a major shedding. And a lot of times, sometimes it just happens without us really needing to do much. Sometimes it's better to allow ourselves to kind of distract ourselves and just engage in the everyday and allow the process to happen. And to just go with the flow, like go with the different, like whatever you feel that day when you wake up in the morning. If you're feeling a bit more tired that day and you don't know why, it's okay. Just kind of adjust your schedule to where maybe you take some things off of your to-do list to give yourself a little bit more time to rest. Maybe you don't have the energy to do, like, make dinner or something, so maybe it's a day to just order some pizza. Like, kind of give yourself some grace, give yourself some time to allow that to be okay, that you don't always have to be on. So that's what I'm hearing from Spirit, because there is something coming our way, something that's approaching. And so it's kind of like allowing us to be a little bit in the unknown is an okay thing to be. Okay. Let me go into the middle of the week here. So what else do we have coming up in the middle of the week? I'm hearing that the next few months are really, really, there's just going to be a lot of shifting and changing. So it's going to be important to kind of take everything day by day. But you are going to feel, as we get into more in the winter months of December, that you may find yourself feeling a bit lighter, but at the same time, you may feel that heaviness of the energy around you, if that makes sense. So it's like, as you're going through this process, you feel kind of more like you're connected to yourself, but then you may find that, because not everybody's on that journey, not everybody has that trajectory. So other people may be really struggling with the changes and the shifts because, they're not understanding how this is all playing out. And there may be a lot of things that are changing in their life and they don't know why, the attachments. So I think that it's kind of, I'm hearing that it's going to be a mix of a lot of different things happening. And so that's why it's really important for us to stay really connected with ourselves. Yeah. Okay. So middle of the week. So we have 3 cards here. So lots of cards. There's a lot of energy and a lot of messages coming through. So there's going to be a lot of cards here. Normally I just pick one for... Okay. Be gentle with yourself, which was just what I was saying. That, it's a lot happening and there's a lot of growth. And so if things are not exactly the way you're wanting them to be, things are not exactly going like your to-do list. You're not putting the check mark next to everything that you're doing. It's okay. Like let that be okay. You are worth it. Yeah. So what I'm hearing with the You Are Worth It card is maybe this is something that a lot of you have been waiting for a long time. Maybe the freedom is a bit surreal. There's this surreal feeling of, is this really happening? Or is this really coming my way? Or because maybe there are some things that we have allowed to just kind of stay up in the headspace. We've allowed it to just kind of stay as a dream. And you may be surprising yourself is what I'm hearing. You may be surprising yourself with the things that you're doing. You may be surprising yourself with some of the things that you're saying. Maybe you're being more bold. Maybe you're being more honest. Maybe you're telling the truth more. And by doing that, you're actually getting what you want. Because there's no more need to try to please other people in sacrifice of yourself, in sacrifice of what you really want. So there is kind of this universal message coming your way of receiving the things you want, and then they're there. And maybe there's a little bit of self-sabotage or a little bit of that imposter syndrome of, do I really deserve this? And you do. You absolutely do. And there may be just some conditioning within you, which is, again, something that we can look at and we can kind of ask ourselves, well, where did I learn this? Where did I learn that I'm not worth it? That I don't deserve certain things? And do I still want to believe that? And yeah, it may be difficult to kind of undo that conditioning, but is it something I'm willing to work on? Is it something I'm willing to change? If that was a possibility for me, if someone gave you that offer, would you take it? You know, the offer of, if you could feel good about yourself, you feel like you deserve things. Is that something you would want to change? Is that something that you would like? And so it's kind of like that, kind of like, if I could do that, I would. So you're worth the changes. I'm hearing, really strongly feeling the word destiny. So for some of you, it's just meant for you. It's your time. It's your time for the awakening. It's your time for the expansion. And that, and that it is something that you deserve. That abundance or love or grace, forgiveness, whatever it is that you've been or freedom. For some of you, it's freedom. So whatever it is that's coming your way, just try to open your arms to it. Wow. Oh my gosh. Bountiful harvest. That's so beautiful. Yeah, there's something really gorgeous coming into focus. A lot of blessings, a lot of healing, a lot of peace. There was a very strong message of peace in this coming week. Inner peace, more than necessarily peace on the outside, like in our day-to-day life with other people or with the world or communities. It's more of this inner peace. And there's also a seeking for an inner peace. So if you're not feeling the peace on the inside, there's a need for it. There's some kind of energy that needs to be calmed, that needs to kind of be tamed, to be brought back down into like an equilibrium. Okay. What do we have going into the weekend, September 13th to the 19th? Okay, 2 cards here. Vulnerability. And breakthrough. Wow. So what I'm hearing with the vulnerability card is that some of you may have created a space where you're feeling like it's a bit that you're safer to be vulnerable. And I really love how these two, I'm just going to call them fairies because they look more like fairies. That these two fairies, and then this is more of like a child and this is like a baby, like an infant. like they feel safe and they feel vulnerable. There's also, I'm hearing a return to a state of innocence, a return to a state of, your original sense of self-worth, your original sense of value, like knowing that you are like whole and perfect on the inside. There's this knowing of that. Like at our true core, like resting inside and inside this shell that gets formed around us as we kind of go through life and all these experiences that tell us that we probably don't matter and we're not worth anything. And, whatever it is, all the negativity kind of, being calcified on top of it. It's like all of that starting to decay and crumble and discovering like this wholeness that's originally within us. The original self is what I'm feeling. Like there's this, it's deeper. It's not just about, I feel great about myself or I have, I'm this and I'm that. It's more of this, I am whole within. And I feel like I like that breakthrough. And I'm hearing that you may kind of go through this process of teetering in and out of it, and that's okay too. So again, be gentle with yourself. It may not be a permanent fixture, but the fact that that energy is starting to emerge and come into your space, this awakening, this realization of your original self is huge, and then that muscle over time, as you keep doing the work, as you keep kind of going on this path, it will grow and grow and grow. So the true self, the true original self of who you are will be strengthened. And this false self, this false image, these false beliefs about ourselves that we don't matter and that we're not meant for anything or things don't work out for us, that kind of stuff will just start to, these things they're not going to be these dramatic shifts of, all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're awakened, it's more of, kind of like this gradual of leaving of one thing and, kind of allowing the original thing to really take place. So I hope that wasn't maybe too esoteric or confusing, but that's what I was picking up on. And I think that was it's a really beautiful message. And I love how all these cards really just emulate that, the energy that I was feeling. So I'm really grateful for these cards because it was so perfect, so spot on. Really beautiful. Okay. So those are the general energies for this coming week. Super spiritual, super, really significant. There's something really profound happening this week within us, inside of us. Okay, so that is the general energies, and I want to get into picking an oracle card for each sign. I am using a different deck. The deck I'm using is Oracle of Mystical Moments. It's a really beautiful, really cool deck. I love it. I've used it quite a few times on my Instagram page where I pick a daily card there. So I'm excited to use it for your weekly readings here. So I'm going to start with Capricorn, of course. And I will also pick an animal totem card as well. Oh, all right, Capricorn. Your cards fell out pretty quickly. Okay, and we have 3 cards here for you. So this is for the week of September 13th to September 19th. Under My Umbrella, The Observer, and Night Ride. Okay, Capricorn, so Under My Umbrella, I'm sorry, I know that took some time. I was just picking up on some messages here. So Under My Umbrella, I feel like there is some kind of collaboration here that you may be working with somebody, and there's like this mutual respect between two people or two things. So there's this co-creating is a word that is what I'm hearing. And there's also this kind of, maybe some of you are putting something out into the world. You're kind of sharing something, or there's something about connecting with other people in a significant way. With the Observer card, I'm feeling like if you are someone who is putting out, let's say, a project or something you've been working on, the Observer card is what I'm feeling is like you're kind of seeing how people are responding to it. You're kind of in this stage of, do people like this or do they not? Or do I need to make some changes over here? There is also a watching for your next move or your next step. On your mind, it feels like you have a lot of dreams and wishes. There's some things that you really want to come into fruition. And there are going to be some, with the Night Ride card, I'm feeling like you're going to have some help. That some of you may find that there's some unlikely friends or allies that are coming into your sphere here that are going to light the way. So you guys I'm hearing like there's this new path that some of you are starting to walk on. And it's kind of like this one step at a time or slow and steady type of progress, one thing at a time. I'm hearing that you may have a rush or a need to want to go really fast or kind of go all in. But I'm feeling like, it's almost like the energy is moving a bit slower at a slower pace, because it needs to kind of, what I'm feeling is like that's kind of like the better way of doing it, is what I'm hearing. Instead of kind of going all in and making maybe decisions or steps that are maybe need to be more, maybe there's more thought that needs to go into it. Something like that. Like there's the reason Spirit wants you to go like one step at a time is so you make sure that it's in alignment with what you're really wanting to manifest, is what I'm hearing. But I'm really feeling like there is a collaboration. I am seeing there's like a lot of individuals within your sphere that you're working with, something that you want to put out into the world. And it is something that offers a helping hand to other people, or vice versa. I know I picked up on this message last week as well. Like there's this cyclical energy where you help someone and they help you back. That kind of thing. Or you help someone and then that act itself is feeding you. It feeds your purpose. It feeds your intentions. It feeds your dreams. It kind of helps you go from one thing to the next thing. But yeah, I'm feeling like dreams and wishes and hopes are really high for you. There's this really push for wanting to manifest and create something. I'm really drawn to the dandelions above the woman's hair in the Observer, where it's like that's what she's inspired by, and that's her dreams, her hopes, things that are really awakening this creative spirit in her. And it doesn't always have to be creative in the sense of artwork. It could just be what you want to create, what you want to manifest in the world. And maybe some of you are also looking at the drawing board or going to the drawing board and, asking yourself, what do I want for my life and what do I want to create? How do I want to go from here? There's also this sheltering of energy. There's also this protective energy. Maybe there is you being protective of others or others being protective of you. There's this bond. There is within the collaboration, within the partnerships with other people, I'm feeling like there's this, we got each other's back, that kind of energy, which is really beautiful. There's this bonding together and sticking together and having a union is what I'm hearing, a union. And it could be a union with like your tribe or just with people who really connect with you. And there's something that's lighting the way. There is something that is kind of, I'm seeing like the stars, that the elephant is kind of like a nightlight, or like a flashlight, just kind of lighting the next step and the next step and the next step. So this week, I feel like for you, Capricorn, it's going to be more about taking it one step at a time and following that following your creative ideas and allowing it to lead you to the next thing, and like listening to that intuition and really holding strong to your dreams and your wishes. This is a really good time to manifest for you, Capricorn, is what I'm hearing. And I'm feeling like there's going to be a lot of people on your side, or a lot of people wanting to help you, a lot of people wanting to see you succeed, see you grow, protecting you. There's also this really strong protective energy for you, Capricorn, as well. So either there's other people, kind of protecting you, or you are maybe being that for another, or, both. So really beautiful. Okay, so let me pick out your animal totem here, Capricorn. Time to let go. Okay, so what I heard with the groundhog spirit, time to let go, is to kind of, okay, so what I'm hearing is that if there are people in your life that are being very clear about maybe where they stand with you, or it's almost like they may not say it, but just through their actions. Like if there's some certain people that are making it very clear that, maybe like their boundaries, or where they, like maybe where they want to be in relationship with you, something like that. There's this need to, or there's this message of like kind of tuning in and listening to that and letting it be. So if maybe there is someone that kind of just doesn't want to be in a certain type of relationship with you that maybe you want to be in, there may be a need for you to kind of set that to the side for now, and just allow it to be where it is. And it may be even something that's a bit hurtful. Maybe it's something that feels a bit rejecting. And so spending more time in nursing your heart space, and kind of retreating back within yourself. I'm feeling like there is more of a quiet energy to you, Capricorn, this week. There's a little bit more of an introspection. There's a little bit more of kind of going within and, asking yourself, like, where do I go from here? Or what would be the next move for me here? So with a groundhog spirit, it feels like there may be a shift or a change in what some of the things that you've been wanting, if they're not working out, or maybe if it involves another person and they're not willing to meet you halfway, or they're not willing to work with you, then it may be at a standstill. And I'm really being drawn to the Observer card. And that's what I'm really feeling here, is that the Observer card, it's kind of like letting people like speak their truth and being like, okay, well, if that's what you want, then I can't force you, or I can't make you, I can't change your mind. Like I can't force you to do something you don't want to do. So like letting people be, and letting people go on their own path, and letting them just do what they need to do. So there is a message of that with the groundhog spirit. And then there is a path for you as well. And it may just look different from what you originally thought. So kind of taking a step back and looking at where things are and allowing them to be what they are, and kind of planning accordingly around that. So, okay, Capricorn, I wish you the best this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and moving on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, what do we have coming up for you for the week of, wow, the cards energy is pretty good this week. Okay, September 13th to the week of September 19th. I'm feeling like there's one more card that wants to come out here. What do we need to know for Aquarius for this week of September 13th to September 19th? Okay. With the message I heard with the art of seduction was actually be weary of flattery. Be on, like, kind of, be on guard. I don't know if that's the best wording, but more of just kind of be more aware or a little bit more discerning. That's a good word. Discerning of flattery. Of those who kind of come towards you with, like, kind of overly complimenting you, where it kind of feels like, tune into your intuition, use your intuition, use that inner knowing. If something feels off or something kind of feels like somebody has a hidden agenda about something, then listen to that. Not necessarily, I'm not feeling like there's anything that you need to necessarily do about it, but I think awareness this week is going to be important for you, because there may be some people around you that are kind of trying to get on your good side because they want something from you, or they want you to do something for them, that kind of thing. So it's going to be important to be a bit discerning with the individuals around you. There's also be cautious of people who are trying to, and it could just be just like a certain narrative, like being fed a certain narrative. So it's going to be really important this week. What I'm feeling with the tiny triumphs and the art of seduction is to be really connected with what you know to be true, or what feels right to you. So that's going to be important, to be authentic with, to be honest with yourself, and to kind of tune into if someone is saying something or wanting you to believe something or wanting you to be on their side, to have clear distinction between what you believe or what you really think versus what they want you to think or what they want you to believe. And I kind of feel like you're going to do a really good job of it, actually. With the tiny triumphs, I'm kind of feeling like you're going to be really proud of yourself this week. You're going to be proud of standing up for yourself, or maybe making a certain choice or decision that is different from what you've always done. So now it's kind of yielding a different result because you changed the way you're doing something. And it's going to help you to feel more empowered in your life. I feel like it's going to give you a sense of empowerment or power back from a relationship with another person, is what I'm seeing. So if there is someone in your life that tends to kind of try to sway you to doing what they want, maybe this week you'll be really good at kind of putting your foot down or saying no, or maybe being more vocal about what you want, or even confronting them and saying like, well, why is it always what you want? Can we do something where I really want to do this, and kind of taking the lead there. So I see, taking somewhat of a leadership position this week in maybe some of your interpersonal lives. Very cool, Aquarius. Okay. What does Aquarius need to know for the week of September 13th to September 19th? What is Aquarius's power animal for September 13th to September 19th? Beaver spirit, lay a solid foundation. Yeah. I really kind of feel like this is about putting your foot down, and this is about letting people know your boundaries. And this is also about allowing people to see the real you, is what I'm hearing. Allowing people to see what you're capable of, that you're not just someone that is going to roll over and take it kind of person. So you're going to be revealing more of your strength, your empowerment, your confidence. So this is really cool. I really like this energy for you, Aquarius. This feels really nice. I think you're going to enjoy this week, and you're going to kind of come out of it feeling like a winner, is what I'm hearing. So really cool, Aquarius. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love this week for you, and I wish you the best of luck. Okay, moving on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces, what do we have coming up for you the week of September 13th to September 19th? House of Flowers. Okay, so I'm seeing results. This is going to be a good week for seeing some results from some of the work that you have been putting out. I'm seeing that you might feel like it's a kind of like a big whirlwind. Like there's maybe more than what you were expecting. There's a beautiful abundance to this card, the House of Flowers. It is where things start to come to fruition, where you start seeing the results from all your hard work. And so you may be just distracted almost is what I'm hearing. You'll be distracted with maybe, and I'm seeing that for some of you who maybe own a business or even a small business, or you're an artist, that you may find that there's some orders pouring in for you, that there may be some attention on you, or, people wanting to connect with you, or people wanting to talk to you and getting to know you, or wanting to know more about. This has a very Three of Pentacles energy to it, where you're kind of having the attention on you for your work, or people kind of touching base with you and wanting to collaborate with you, that kind of thing. So this is really beautiful because the abundance as well will help you to grow in areas where there have been a little bit of stagnancy is what I'm seeing. So if there are some things, for example, what I saw was, let's say there's a little area in your house that needs fixing up, but we haven't had the funds for it. You may find that this week that, there's this progress that's being made. So you may be able to save up a little bit more for, that repair job in your home, or you may even have enough to be able to do that. So that kind of thing, there's progress here enough to push you forward in the right direction. So this is really nice. I like this for you, Pisces. Let's see what your spirit animal has to say for Pisces, September 13th to the 19th. And I see you being happy. I'm feeling happiness. I'm seeing enthusiasm and charisma. So this is going to be, I like this. This is really good energy. It's sunshine. Oh, beautiful. Claim your independence. Cat spirit. Awesome. I think that you're going to feel empowered in the sense where, you're seeing that people are liking what you do. So it's going to feed that creativity. It's going to feed the next idea, because you're seeing energy being poured back to you. It's like that cycle is generating, this wheel is moving. So it's not becoming stagnant. You get a wonderful idea, you execute on it, people respond to it, they love it, and then it kind of motivates you to do something else. So there is this fire. There's a really beautiful wands energy, which is in the traditional tarot. The wands is action. It's positive movement forward. It's, executing on your ideas and being inspired, being fired up. So yeah, I'm feeling like a real surge of energy here. And I love those yellow and orange and red colors behind a cat. This is just, it's vibrancy, and it's also standing out is what I'm hearing. It's standing out. It's being different, and people loving that about you. Like you kind of just being your own thing, being your own person, and that being appreciated. So all you have to do is just be yourself, right? And then just keep doing that. And it's bringing in really wonderful results. So congratulations, Pisces. This is really beautiful. And it's really beautiful to see. So really nice. Thank you so much, Pisces. I hope you have a good week ahead. Moving on to Aries. Okay, Aries. What do we have coming up for you September 13th? to September 19th. What do we have coming up for you this week, Aries? Just one card, please. Butterfly Garden. Okay, so what I kind of felt with Aries this week is you may kind of want to spend some time by yourself, or you may find yourself spending time by yourself. Like even if there may be, I saw people kind of going to the movies by themselves, or kind of going shopping by themselves, or maybe kind of this need to want to be in your own space, in your own world, or in your own, yeah, in your own space to rejuvenate and to recuperate. So that's what it kind of feels like. So maybe some of you are spending a lot of time with other people. You may be feeling like you're pulled in a lot of different directions. So this week you may kind of feel like you're just really tired, or you're wanting to rejuvenate, recoup, kind of rebuild your energy back up so you can keep going forward. It feels like, yeah, there's like a dip or a low in the energy space. And I think it's just from being exhausted or being tired from things. And you may be one of the signs that are really feeling strongly these significant changes or shifts energetically or spiritually that I was referring back to in the general energies. So that's going to be important to take care of yourself, to kind of, you may also find that you are going more into a place of, okay, so you're going into more of a place of transformation, and that also may be taking not a toll. It may be taking up space in your energy where you're not able to maybe do some of the other everyday day-to-day things, where you can only kind of do a couple of things on your to-do list rather than being able to check off every single thing. They're asking me to actually read the message for Butterfly Garden, so I'm going to read that for you, Aries, here. I think there's a message in here for you. Okay. Curiosity, discovery, small moments in life. A woman holds a blooming flower in her hand as she gazes toward the sky. On her head sits a butterfly, closely examining the purple details. Enjoying the situation, the woman stands still and quietly soaks in her surroundings. She does not want to disturb the scene. In our daily life, there are so many possible moments that could be precious. If we could just take the time to notice them, be mindful of your surroundings and pay attention. Ask, why is that there? Then make connections. Small observations can lead to great discoveries. Yeah, this is cool. This is really interesting, because I was seeing, Aries, you kind of doing things on your own, and there may be just this need to want to, maybe some of you were also incubating on an idea, and you kind of need to kind of shut out the noise so you can have some clarity or come to a solution to something that you're working on, or maybe a way of how you want to execute on an idea or a project. And so you kind of do more of these things where it kind of helps you to feel more in your presence, where it can spark some ideas, which is really interesting. I love that. That's really cool. Okay. What is Aries animal totem for this week of September 13th to September 19th? Wow. Use your mind wisely. Yeah. Okay. So it kind of feels like you're going to be really in the headspace this week. You may be, I really feel like some of you are working on something and you're kind of needing to figure out a solution or figure out some kind of detail with it. So that's going to be, I feel like that's going to be the focus for some of you this week. Yeah, and I'm also kind of feeling with the pig spirit that there is a need to be alone. There's a need for some independence. There's a need for some space. There's a need to kind of retreat and just be with yourself. So I would give that to yourself, Aries. If that's something that you're really needing, then, you know, it's a good thing to do to kind of take that time to recalibrate and to figure things out. So very cool, Aries. Thank you so much for tuning in. Moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, what do we have coming up for you this week of September 13th to September 19th? Ooh, interesting. Okay. Home is the sky and Ava. Okay, so Taurus, I feel like some of you may be walking away from perhaps someone who is toxic or someone who is just, I'm hearing the word intrusive. And it may be a family member is what I'm hearing. So maybe you kind of have someone who pries a lot, or someone who is very kind of just in your business quite a bit. So it feels like there's this need to want to kind of get up and move, like get up and go somewhere else, or kind of go off and do your own thing, because it kind of feels like there may be some people around you that are encroaching in your space, and it's becoming a bit overwhelming. Ava kind of comes in as someone who you need to be a little bit more cautious around, have your senses up, and kind of, and it's really interesting because she camouflages herself, in this nature. So you can't really, it's like they put on this mask of, you can't see me, you don't know who I really am. But Taurus, you may be really good at tuning in to seeing through people's masks this week, so if you kind of come across some unsavory characters, or maybe just people who kind of make you nervous, or people who make you a little bit anxious to be around, then listen to that intuition. There may be something about them in relation to you that makes you uncomfortable. Because I really feel like with the Home in the Sky is a card about moving out of what you know. And moving out of this, like this space that you've been in. It's like they're taking their homes with them and they're sailing off. So it's kind of transitioning out of a place that has grown stagnant, or that has grown out, that you might have outgrown. Maybe there's some relationships that you've outgrown, or friendships that you have outgrown, and you're ready to kind of move beyond something because it's just not resonating with you as much anymore. It could also be a relationship as well. It could be a relationship with someone. Perhaps there is somebody in your life that tries to control you, or the situation, or the things you do, and you're really feeling a bit constricted, like you can't really make your own choices or your decisions. So there is also maybe a need for some freedom and some liberation here. Yeah, that feels pretty strong. Okay, Taurus, what is your animal totem for this week? What does Taurus need to know for the week of September 13th to September 19th? Yeah, so I'm hearing from Spirit that if you're one of those who are sensing that there's someone that kind of you feel really controlled by, I'm hearing from Spirit that it's really good for you to move on. It's really good for you to move out, or move like to a different place where it feels, even in like energetic wise, kind of remove your energy from that person and kind of put it to something where it gives you more of a sense of liberation and freedom. Some of you may physically need to move. Like if you're living with this person or something, maybe you really need to move out, get your own place, that kind of thing. So I'm really seeing that Spirit is encouraging you to kind of pull yourself out of that situation so you can be happy and you can be free. Wow. Okay, beautiful. Believe in yourself. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that there's this kind of building your own nest egg, like building your own abundance for yourself, so no one else can really control you with it. There's a strong message with having your own stability, or having your own funds to take care of yourself, like your own, I keep hearing nest egg. So it's like having that extra funds for a rainy day, just so if anything changes, or if anything kind of shifts and moves, then you have enough to take care of yourself. So that's what I'm feeling. So maybe for some of you, Taurus, you're kind of maybe pulling in more shifts for work, or you're taking on an extra job, or something where it builds a little bit extra for yourself, like a cushion for just in case type of thing. So because I'm kind of feeling like your senses are telling you that, that something may shift or change, or I may want to leave, but I can't leave right now because I don't have enough to take care of myself. So I'm going to build that first for myself so I can give myself that freedom and my liberation so I can be happy, which is really empowering and beautiful. And you can do it, Taurus. You can believe in yourself. Wow. I forgot that sentence was there. Believe in yourself. Yes, this is beautiful. You can do it. You can. Whatever you have planned, I'm hearing that Spirit, it can hear you, is acknowledging that you have this wish and this plan for yourself to maybe set yourself free from maybe something toxic or something that's been controlling you. And it's going to help you in that process, and Spirit wants you to just keep going on that. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself or work yourself to the bone. But having that intention, or having that in place, is going to be really, really beneficial for you, and that's a good way to go. So you're on the right path, Taurus, for those of you who are resonating with this. So very good. Best of luck, Taurus. Beautiful. Moving on to Gemini. Okay, Gemini, what do we have coming up for you in the week of September 13th to September 19th? Oh, how sweet. The perfect key. Okay, I'm hearing one more. Spirit wants to pick one more. So this is about being unique and being just really authentic and having like an expression of yourself. So I'm kind of seeing, they showed me an image of like a little girl, and this is really interesting because we have little girls in both of these photos. Is like, the image of like the one girl that kind of comes to class and she just looks so like she's dressed in like a unique outfit or just something really unique, like the sea witch, kind of maybe repurposes things around like in a very creative way, like really stands out from the crowd. So I kind of feel like, Gemini, there's this call to kind of tune into something that's a little bit more unique or different about yourself, and don't be afraid to show that. So what I'm hearing is that some of you have something really unique or different to offer the world. So maybe it's in your artwork, maybe it's in the way you express something, maybe it's in the way you write, or in the way you dance, or the way you move, or something different or unique. You bring something different to the table. There's something that you have or something you can do that sets you apart from other people, and I'm feeling like you know what it is. And what I'm hearing from Spirit is don't be afraid to bring that out, because that uniqueness and that individuality is exactly what, wherever you are, maybe it's exactly what that industry needs, or exactly what your group or team needs, or maybe it's something that exactly what your family needs. Maybe you're just really different from your family. They all think one way and you think a bit differently, and you bring something different to the table. You give something. You give others something to think about, something to ponder on. So don't be afraid to bring that out. Don't be afraid to wear that with pride, to be confident in it and to be empowered in it, and to not let people, don't let other people's comparisons, like, don't take that on. Don't take, just because other people are comparing, you don't compare yourself with other people. That's just how they are, but you kind of stand proud in who you are, and you stand confident in who you are. Yeah, this is really beautiful. This is about individuality, about uniqueness, and about being empowered and strong, and, just shining in that. Let's see what, oh, okay. Love that. Know your worth, Sun Spirit. Yeah. So this card is just, that's what it is. It's about being different and being unique and being loud and proud about it, is what I'm hearing. Like coming out and being like, hey world, this is who I am. You like it or you don't, doesn't really matter to me, but this is who I am. And I'm not going to change for anybody. And I'm not going to, dim my light or lower myself or pretend to be someone I'm not, just to make other people around me more comfortable. So they're asking me to read the message for Skunk Spirit here. Let me read the message here for you. Okay, Skunk Spirit. What do you value? What do you believe in? Is your best, most authentic self on display? Skunk Spirit comes as a reminder that you can be proud of who you are and what you have accomplished. Know your worth. Not everyone will agree with you or share your values. But you can walk with your head high, knowing that when you express your integrity, others can feel your authenticity and will be inspired by it. Be who you are, and if your reputation precedes you, good. You have much to be proud of, and Skunk Spirit wants you to be your best self, the true you. Wonderful. I love how that just sums up. I'm sorry for losing my voice. But yeah, this is really, really cool. This is about uniqueness and individuality. And, it's time. You have something so cool to offer people, and, let people see it. Very nice. Awesome. Awesome, Gemini. Okay. Thank you so much, Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer, moving on to what is coming up for you in the week of September 13th to September 19th. What do we have coming up for Cancer this week? Okay, Cancer, I'm feeling grounding. So there may be a need to ground this week, ground your energy. There may be a lot, I'm feeling like kind of this energy of kind of being out of your body a bit. So maybe there's something that has caused you anxiety, or might be just a lot going on where it's hard to kind of recenter yourself. So this week, what I'm hearing is that's going to be important for you to recenter, realign, and ground. But let's see what the message is here. Pure nature. So this is kind of, really blooming into more of what you're really about. There may be a need to be more honest with yourself. I'm kind of feeling like raw emotions. So maybe there's something this week that kind of brings out a sense of rawness, or something that brings out a little bit more of what is hidden inside you. And it will help you to kind of just uncover that next layer of yourself and kind of really accentuate this relationship that you have, this deep relationship that you have with yourself. For those of you who feel very connected with this spiritual path of yours, I'm kind of feeling that you may feel that there is something different that comes to your awareness, where it helps you to uncover another layer of yourself, where you discover something new about yourself, or something that you've been holding on to that you didn't realize was there. So there is this uncovering or blooming of who you really are. This is, getting to know yourself even better than what you already know. This is also, what I'm also hearing is that there is an attention on you for being that. So for some of you, if you are really good at just kind of being this, living unapologetically of who you really are, and, allowing people to see your true nature, there's going to be an inspiration for other people to do the same. So you're setting the example for others to how to live in that place. So you're kind of teaching others how to be that. You're teaching others how to stand your ground. And it could even be, if that's not even like your job, it could be just something where you're very influential to the people around you. So maybe you have siblings that are watching you, or you have your friends that are watching you, and they are inspired by you. And they may not come and say it, but it's like you set that example for other people, where maybe you're someone who always speaks their honest opinion, and the people around you tend to kind of people please, or, they're afraid to tell the truth for fear of what other people will think. And so you're kind of setting the example. You're being a leader here by being so honest and authentic with yourself, which is beautiful. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. And then this is the animal card that popped out. The badger spirit, be fearless and bold. Yeah. So I really feel like you're the leader here. You're the leader in something, and you set the example for the people around you. So also, if there are, maybe this could also be a pointing to be aware of the people that are around you, and be aware of maybe some of the things that you're saying, or some of the things that you're kind of putting out there, because there may be people watching you where they're kind of taking that into, like, especially if you have children or kids around you, like they're following your example. So kind of being more careful with what you say, or what you believe, or that kind of thing, because you want to set a good example of, you want to set a good example for that. So, but at the same time, this is also about teaching other people by embodying it yourself. Like you're embodying this, I'm going to be proud of myself, and I'm going to be authentic, and I'm going to you're living unapologetically, which is very kind of a similar message that Gemini got as well, where you are, taking this on, like, I'm going to be the ringleader for this. And I hope that people use this as an example on how to be themselves and to love themselves. So really cool, really beautiful. Awesome, Cancer. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Moving on to Leo. Okay, Leo, what do we have coming up for you the week of September 13th to September 19th? What do we have coming up for Leo in the week of September 13th to the 19th? Transformation. Yeah. So Leo, you may be one of the signs that are going through this transformation. I'm also hearing strongly that some of you may find a perfect fit with work. So some of you may come across an opportunity with work, especially if you have been searching for a long time, or you've been kind of going from one thing to the next, kind of trying to figure out where you fit in something. I'm seeing that for some of you Leos, you may have stumbled across, or you may have found a line of work or a position, or even creating your own thing where it feels like it fits perfectly. And it highlights everything that you are, and it highlights your true talents, your skills. It really helps you to shine. And it's like your nature. It's like it just comes naturally to you. And so it's not something that is too difficult. It doesn't feel like it's too difficult of a job. And I'm seeing for you, Leo, that it may be something where like, wow, I can do this. It's so easy for me, because it becomes so naturally to you that it surprises you that you can make money off of it, because it just kind of feels so easy. So I did pick up on that message. I'm going to pick one more card for you, Leo, because I really did feel like. And so I kind of feel like there is a power to you as well. You're powerful. You kind of have it almost kind of feels like the ball is in your court. It kind of feels like you are in control of your circumstances. And same with Lorelai as well. You kind of have the staff in your hand. Like, you're the one in control and in power this week, which is really, really cool. Maybe some of you are stepping into more of a leadership role. Maybe some of you are taking on employees, or you're getting promoted where you have people working underneath you. It could also be that in your family that people are looking to you and depending on you. And it kind of depends on how you navigate things. And that's how it changes the trajectory. So the power is in your hands this week. So there's something really, really cool about that for you, Leo. Okay, let me pick out an animal totem for you. Is Leo's animal totem for the week of September 13th to the 19th. Wow, beautiful. The miracles are endless. This is really beautiful. So I see a lot of abundance. Whenever I see this card, the cow spirit, I always think of abundance, and I think of stability. So there is something really significant within the home, within family, that brings in a significant amount of stability. I think that there are things really coming into fruition. There's this feeling of like you found it, like you found the thing that you've been looking for, like this missing piece or this missing cup that really just resonates so well with you, and it fits perfectly like a puzzle piece. So that's really exciting for you, Leo. I love that. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, Leo. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I'll be moving on to Virgo next. Okay, Virgo, what do we have coming up for you the week of September 13th to September 19th? What do we have coming up for Virgo? Okay, so Virgo, there's something about needing to take some risks, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so what I heard was, I'm going to pick one more. I'm feeling like there's one more. What I'm hearing is that there may be something where like it's time for you to start to execute on some of the things that you have planned out for yourself. So if some of you are like sitting on an idea or sitting on something that you really want to do, like it may kind of just be staying up in this dream state. and which is wonderful, which is great. And maybe some of you need some more time to do that. Maybe some of you need some more time to kind of plan things out and dream a bit more. But I'm kind of feeling like it's time to start acting on some of these things that you want to happen, So if you want to be a writer, you want to be a musician, like you got to start making the music. You got to start writing what you want to write. So it's kind of like starting to put it into action. It doesn't have to be, the big project or anything, but I'm kind of seeing like taking these small steps towards that direction of some of the things that you want to see happen. And I'm kind of seeing that it's going to really generate this energy towards you. Like you're going to start as you do it, and it may not feel like it's really going to do anything. Like let's say you want to be an artist and you kind of just sit in your living room and you just start sketching. Like you may not see in that moment that I don't know how this can really go somewhere, but it will, it kind of builds over time. So it's like being able to stay connected to your dreams and your wishes and still at the same time allow yourself to take those small steps towards what you want. Let me pick one more here, Virgo. What else does Virgo need to know for this week? So get started on something is what I'm feeling. Get started on some of the things that you want to see happen for yourself. Yeah. Because there could be that some of you have a gift, have a really beautiful gift, and you may be afraid to, it's like you really dream of it, but you may be kind of afraid to put it out there. This could also be that spirit wants to give you a gift, that there's abundance that wants to come in your life. And then spirit wants you to meet it halfway, wants you to kind of go out there and put yourself out there or just get started on something at least, even if that's maybe more of an intimidating idea to put yourself out there. It could just be, taking the next step. Okay, what is Virgo's animal totem for this week of September 13th to the 19th? Wow. Beautiful. So you have two cards here. You have the dragonfly spirit, and then you also have the panther spirit. Reclaim your power. This is really beautiful. Okay, so I heard something else as I was shuffling the cards for the animal totems was maybe there might be, I heard two different things, and they're kind of very different from each other. One of them was that you may find that there's more people noticing you than you realize. So for some of you, you may kind of be sharing something with others and not realizing how many people are tuning in. Like let's say, for example, your YouTube channel, or you're writing something, or you're sharing something that or a gift or a talent that you have. You may not be aware that there's actually more people noticing you or watching you than you realize, because I kind of feel like there's this kind of just being in your own world and doing what you do best and not really realizing that there's like a crowd behind you watching. So there's that kind of energy, which is a really beautiful energy. But there's also, it's almost like spirit wants you to like, just take a look and see how many people appreciate you or how many people appreciate your work or how great of a job you did. There seems to be a message of acknowledging how good you are at something, kind of building that sense of accomplishment for yourself, patting yourself on the back, giving yourself that permission to pat yourself on the back for the good job that you've done, to acknowledge yourself. So that seems to be really important this week. So maybe this week might be a good week to celebrate yourself and go do something in honor of the hard work that you've done, just to kind of refresh or refill you. Because with the dragonfly spirit, the truth transcends illusion. What I was kind of feeling here was that maybe some of you are feeling like there is you may be telling yourself like, well, no one really appreciates me or no one really likes me. But in reality, there's a lot of people that really appreciate you and there are a lot of people that really like you. So there's this kind of discrepancy. There's this thing about kind of being afraid to see yourself as amazing as you are, and same with the panther spirit, reclaiming your power. Giving yourself the permission to really like yourself or to feel confident, to feel happy, to be proud of yourself. I'm kind of strangely feeling that maybe some of you have been taught not taught necessarily to not like yourself, but maybe that was something that wasn't really celebrated, like in your home. Like maybe, for example, maybe you grew up where, you might have accomplished something, but it wasn't really celebrated or acknowledged. So as we get older, we don't really know how to do that for ourselves, and that's missing, and I think that spirit wants you to kind of celebrate yourself this week. There's this need to acknowledge yourself and to see that you really are good at something, or you really are amazing, or you are smart, or you are beautiful. There's a need for that. There's a need to look in the mirror, metaphorically or literally, and to tell yourself how amazing you are and that you matter and that you're enough and that you're perfect. So that is going to be, I feel like, the mission for this week is to celebrate yourself, Virgo, because I'm really feeling like you do great. You do something really wonderfully. And maybe there's a lot of people that pat you on the back, but it's hard for you to pat yourself on the back. So that's going to be the message for this week for you, Virgo. Wonderful. I hope you have a good week ahead. Moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra, what do we have coming up for you this week of September 13th to September 19th? New directions. Okay, so we're moving in a different direction here. And there may be, what I'm hearing is that maybe some of you your friend groups are changing, or your social circles are changing. The dynamics are changing here because you've changed. I'm not really necessarily hearing that the other people have changed. I'm hearing more that you changed. And it's a good thing. Like, it's kind of like, there's just something that's just not resonating maybe with some of your older social circles. Something about social circles that's changing here. Let me pick one more card for Libra for the week of September 13th. Yeah. Okay. So there's also kind of, again, the Sea Witch. I really love this card because it's about uniqueness, individuality, but wearing it with pride, and I think that this is about standing tall in who you are and being empowered in that. And maybe for some of you, doing that means that you end up kind of losing some of the friends that you've had because maybe they don't agree with your views. Maybe they don't agree with this person that you're becoming, or they don't resonate with it. And so there is a shift in relationships and maybe even just your environment as you change, as you become somebody, actually become more of really who you really are. You're becoming more you. And with that comes with a change in, now the people that are surrounding you or the people that resonate with you. And I kind of feel like you may go through a period where there's not really a whole lot of people around you that you're used to. Like maybe if you're used to having, this big group of friends, you may find that it's down to like a couple or maybe no friends at all. And you're kind of going through this transition phase of, as this something old leaves, that it's going to take some time for something new to come in. But it kind of feels like, Libra, you're spending more time with kind of growing this authenticity and kind of gearing up or building up the confidence to put yourself out there and say, like, this is more of who I am. And this resonates with me more. That it's, just naturally different people will start to come into that sphere with that. So just be patient with yourself there. But I am seeing that you're going through kind of like a shift within your social circles where as you change and as you become more bold with who you are and more confident, and you're also allowing people to see you for who you really are as well. Like you're not really apologizing for it. It's just kind of like, well, I was like that before because of this and this and this, and now this is who I want to be. And then this is just what it is. And with that, things will shift. So, okay, let's move into your animal totems here, Libra. What is Libra's animal, power animal for the week of September 13th to September 19th? Life is a mystery. Yeah. So this kind of feels like that unknown, like that in between period that I'm feeling. And that's okay. It just comes with the territory is what I'm hearing. It comes with this transition phase, but I'm also seeing that you're going into it with like, with tenacity. Sorry, I can't speak today. With tenacity, you're very determined, you're very goal driven, and you know what you want, and you know where you want to go and what you want to be. And so you're going into it with courageousness, and that's a really cool thing to see. I don't think you're doubting yourself. I'm not seeing you doubt yourself. I'm seeing a lot more confidence, and with that, it will bring just a completely different picture, is what I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing Libra moving into like a new world, or like a new paradigm, or just a completely different environment that just really resonates so much better. And it kind of feels like, Libra, you're ready for it. I'm not seeing you grieving. I'm not seeing you being sad about it even. I kind of feel like, for those of you who are moving on to something different, that it may have been something that's been on your mind for a while, but you were just kind of like afraid to move forward with it. So, you may have known for a while that, all these people, I don't really, like, I'm still seeing them, but I don't really resonate with them that much. So it may just kind of be that time where this week you see maybe a significant shift in between one phase into the next. So that's going to be an interesting journey for you, Libra, but I see you going into it with a lot of confidence. So that's good to see. So have a good week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in. Moving into Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, what do we have coming up for you the week of September 13th to September 19th, 2021? I'm hearing laughter. So maybe you'll be laughing a lot this week. Maybe you'll be in good high spirits this week. To moon and back. Lullaby. Okay. I'm seeing like creativity. You may be really in this state of dreaminess, creativity, using your voice. There's something about clearing the throat chakra. There may be something about connecting with spirit, connecting with the divine. I know that Scorpios are very, very intuitive. So this may be a good week to kind of clear those channels of communication. Yeah. So I'm kind of feeling like there's also might be a need to declutter the mind. There may be a need to really tune more into a different energy, rather than like kind of get out of the headspace more. There may be a lot of like mind chatter, a lot of ideas up in the mind space. So I'm kind of feeling like either there's a need for organization, or there may be a need for clearing out in the mind space. And I'm kind of feel like you can do that through the throat, is what I'm hearing. Clearing the throat chakra will help to decrease the pressure that gets built up in the third eye, in the crown chakra. So, and that will actually help to kind of create this flow of the lower chakras as well. So I'm kind of feeling like there's this need to recalibrate your energies and to unblock yourself a bit, because it kind of feels like there's this stagnancy up in the mind space for you, Scorpio. Let me see what else we have coming up for you the week of September 13th to September 19th. I'm also seeing that some of you might be doing something in terms of work that will really kind of help to, I'm hearing like your manifestations are going to increase. So as you keep going is what I'm hearing. Like keep going, keep doing what you're doing, because it is building. Like something is building, and it's going to manifest into something much bigger later on. So I'm hearing like just with a lullaby card, I'm hearing like play that one song at a time, just keep going, like don't stop moving. Even if even if you find that your energies are a bit low, it kind of goes up and down throughout the week. It just kind of do what you can, but don't stop moving is what I'm hearing. Oh, surrender now. Okay, yeah. So I'm also hearing that, We can plan as much as we want and we can try to manifest things as much as we want, but I'm also hearing that it's also good to kind of let spirit give you the things that it wants to give you, that we don't always have to figure things out. And I think that that's why I was picking up on the headspace where, we may want to constantly try to plan everything, be organized. We want to kind of have everything figured out. But I think that Scorpio, it's going to be really beneficial to allow yourself to just relax and kind of allow yourself to lose yourself in your work. Like just be in the flow more than trying to figure out how is this going to turn out or what's going to happen. There's a need to kind of reground and to connect more with creating rather than trying to see how this is going to end up in the end is what I'm feeling. So there's like a surrender to it. I'm going to actually read the message for you, Scorpio, for Moth Spirit here. See what Moth Spirit has to say for Scorpio. Moth Spirit asks, what is guiding you right now? Are you in alignment with Spirit or pursuing something or someone with so much tenacity that it has become a compulsion or an addiction? Are you so intoxicated by a potential relationship or opportunity that you can't think straight? Hard work and dedication are virtues, and love, of course, is a beautiful thing. However, when Moth Spirit appears, it is time to consider if you have gone over the edge in a relentless pursuit. Workaholism, overeating, perfectionism, or addiction to certainty or even to a person may be your current vice. The form of your addiction does not matter so much as awareness of the consequences of remaining persistent when moderation is needed. Let go of your excessive energy by channeling it in more than one direction. The fire burns hot, and you do not want to be engulfed by your passion to the exclusion of all the other pursuits that matter to you. Now is time for surrender and radical acceptance so that your drive does not cause you to flee or to fight. Spirit wants you to release your need for certainty and control so you can relax into a more balanced way of using your Moth Spirit energy. Banish the shoulds and musts so you can enjoy what is as you allow for what might be. Yeah, absolutely. And it may also be just in small things, like small things of needing things to be exactly. And what I'm feeling is that it's a need to kind of, it's almost like sometimes we do it to soothe our own anxiety. Like if we're worried about things, then sometimes we tend to kind of fixate on something else and we tend to make it all about that one thing because we're really feeling anxious about something else. And so I think that having that awareness of what's really going on within us can help us to recalibrate our energy, help us to kind of be like, oh, you know what? I think I'm just, I'll give an example because this is what's coming up for me as I'm saying this, is that a while ago I had to go to a wedding and I was kind of nervous about the wedding for other reasons. And I just kept obsessing about what I was going to wear to the wedding. And I couldn't figure out why I had, several outfits that I wanted to wear and it was fine. Like it wasn't a big deal, but for some reason, I couldn't get it out of my mind. And then I realized that, I think it's because I'm actually really nervous about the wedding in itself. Like I can't, I think there were people that were going to be there that that sometimes made me feel nervous or whatever it is. But it's kind of like that, where is the anxiety? Like, what is this really about? Is this really about the dress or is this really about the fact that you're nervous that you're going to be in this social situation and it may bring up some things or whatever. So it's that kind of thing is what I'm feeling, it's like, why are we, so fixated on this one thing? What is it that we're really worried about? Or what is it that we're really kind of focused on or what we're wanting? And so I think that's a great message to just kind of be aware of the truth of, some of the tendencies that we tend to fixate on and allow ourselves to come back and to recalibrate and to focus on doing something because we really love it, because it brings us joy and it brings us happiness, and allow it to be okay that the rest will just kind of fall into place when the time is right. So yeah, surrender is going to be a big message for you this month, or I'm sorry, this week, Scorpio. So, okay, beautiful message. Wonderful. I wish you the absolute best, Scorpio. Moving on to Sagittarius now. Okay, what do we have coming up for Sagittarius for the week of September the 13th to the 19th? I'm hearing you're enough. So maybe that might be something you focus on this week, is the idea of what it means to feel like we're enough. Why do we feel like we're not enough? Do we feel like we're enough? You know, did I learn that somewhere that I wasn't enough? That kind of thing. So that might be something that comes up for you this week, Sagittarius. Touch the sky. There's something about connection here. Connecting with something, yeah, okay, pure nature, beautiful. So connecting with something that is really real and raw within you. There may be something where you're doing this inner work and you're really exploring something very specific about your life or about your journey. And it kind of has maybe a retreat back into childhood. Maybe you're kind of going backwards and kind of trying to figure out where I learned this one thing, or where did I lose my way, or where did I, feel like things were kind of going in a different direction than what I originally planned for myself. So I think that this week, Sagittarius, that it's going to be an illuminating week. You may have some really cool truths that you get uncovered, or some progress that really gets made in a sense where you're able to understand something about your life or something about yourself a lot better. And what that will do is it will help you to step into yourself a lot easier, So like as you're able to maybe reconcile some things from the past, it's going to make you easier to embrace yourself as a person. And maybe make it easier for you to kind of put some of the heavy weight of some past experiences down, and allow you to love yourself more, allow you to embrace yourself more, to really like who you are. So there's some profound message of self-acceptance this week for you, Sagittarius, which is really, really beautiful, and kind of letting go of how a situation or a person has defined you, and you being able to reclaim a definition for yourself. Or maybe not even definition, just kind of really tuning into who you really are without even needing to define yourself. Like, this is what I am, and this is who I am, and I don't need to define myself in any way. This is who I am in my pure nature. Okay, Sagittarius, what is Sagittarius's power animal for the week of September 13th to September 19th? Third eye is going to be very strong this week. So you may take time out. Yeah. Beautiful. So it's just, you're still taking that time to work on yourself. You're, rejuvenating. You are, I just keep hearing comfort and care. So that's going to be, and there's a focus on your third eye and your heart space this week. So maybe you're just intuitively seeing more into your heart space. You're connecting deeper with something that's a lot more authentic, something that's more honest, something that's more real. And it feels like there's a need for a safe space for that. So I think that's going to be something that you're continuing to work on. I think Sagittarius are doing a lot of inner work, more so than maybe some of the other signs that I'm seeing. So it kind of feels like that's your soul dedication, especially this month, at least of September. There's something really significant that has sparked or inspired this exploration within. And so I think the theme for maybe this week for you is exploring this concept of self-value. And why do I matter, and why am I enough? Like, what is it that I can help myself to see? How can I feel that for myself, that I'm enough? And so that's going to be illuminating for you here. So very nice, beautiful Sagittarius. So proud of all the work that you're doing on yourself. Okay, so that is the messages for this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and I will see you for next week. Bye.